Okay, you may be seated. All right, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Amy Higdon, as you all probably know. I am the director of the University of Louisville School of Nursing, Owensboro Extension, and I want to welcome you all here this afternoon, those of you all who are joining us now. And I want to remind you that we are recording the event so that we can share that with you all, so you can share it with your family and friends. So normally we would have them here with us, but given the circumstances with the pandemic, we were not able to do that. Sorry. Thank you. It was blocking. Okay, so we are here today to celebrate each of you. Because you have worked very, very hard to get to this point, and we want to recognize you all for that hard work and really celebrate the transition from lower division to upper division. So you've worked really hard over the last couple of years to complete those prerequisite requirements, but today we're celebrating the transition into upper division nursing and being in the actual nursing program. Okay. So we want you to keep in mind that this is a great opportunity and reason to celebrate, but this is only the beginning of what the next 2 years are going to be like. So first of all, I want to take a moment and introduce the Owensboro faculty and staff. So as I call your name, I would ask that you please stand and remain standing. And then we will offer our applause for the faculty and staff. And some of these people you've had a lot of interaction with, some not quite yet, but you will. Okay, so first of all, Miss Amanda Howe, Dr. Luz Huntington-Moscas, Miss Bailey Stiff, Miss Jessica Emery, Miss Haley Geary, Miss Tiara Albin, Miss Courtney Biddle, Miss Angie Maringer, and then we also have behind the recorder Miss Kristen Whitaker, and we have Miss Holly Bodney, and then also Miss Terry Knott. Okay, I think I caught everyone, so let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all. Please be seated. I also want to recognize a couple of other special guests that we have with us. First of all, we have Dr. Deborah Anderson. If you will please stand. She is the Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs and Operations from the School of Nursing, and she has traveled from Louisville to be here with us today. So thank you for coming, Dr. Anderson. And then I want to recognize Ms. Rhonda Rogers. Ms. Rogers is the liaison between Owensboro Health and our Owensboro Extension. So thank you for being here with us. Okay. So right now, I would like to introduce you to our Student Council President, Mr. Blake Booker. He is going to make a few comments.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Higdon. Again, my name is Blake Booker, and I'm the Student Council President here at the University of Louisville, Owensboro Nursing Extension. And real quick, I just want to take a moment to mention the rest of my Student Council members or officers who couldn't be here tonight. So Vice President Ashley Kimmel, Secretary Megan Manier, Treasurer Hope Johnson, and your very own Social Chair, Miss Sammy Leonard, sitting right over there. Without them, my job as president would definitely be so very difficult, and I most definitely could not do it without them. Secondly, I'd like to send my congratulations to all the parents who will be watching this shortly. I'm sure you are very proud of your children and what they have accomplished this far. And so I hope everyone here also enjoyed your cups you got from Kudos. Did everyone like those? We worked very hard on those, so you better have liked them. And so we hope it helped make you feel a little more welcomed into our program. Now, as I stand in front of you today, I can say I know exactly how you're feeling. You are smiling, but on the inside, you are thinking about the next seal you're going to have to pass or successfully master, your community nursing quiz on Thursday, the learning modules due at the end of the week, the exam that is now 1 week away, And in the midst of all this, you are probably still trying to decide what you're going to eat for breakfast. Oh, and let's just not forget Mr. COVID-19, who just decided to make this all a bit more hard. However, I'm here to tell you I'm a fourth semester student, and half the time I still don't know what I'm going to eat for breakfast, but that's not the point. The point is you can do this, and you will do it, okay? Yes, I'm sure you're super stressed and totally overwhelmed, and not to mention COVID-19 decided to make, in my opinion, the hardest undergraduate degree to obtain, period, even harder. But I promise it will be okay. Why? Because this school will do more than enough to ensure you are provided with a wealth of knowledge in order to be successful. Moving forward, I would like to tell a little story that I came across a while back. I've used this before, but it's a really good story and you're really going to like it. So, once upon a time, there was a young bride named Abby who wore a white dress, black leggings, a veil, and carried a bouquet of pink and purple flowers. Her groom, on the other hand, wore a tuxedo, a t-shirt with a boutonniere, and had to get down on one knee to take pictures with his bride, who was all of 4 years old. In less than 24 hours, a medical center was able to pull off a wedding for a childhood cancer patient named Abby. Now, since being diagnosed with cancer, Abby has been telling her mother all week that she wanted to get married to her favorite nurse. His name was Matt. Abby had a very rare and aggressive form of leukemia, making many days a struggle for both her and her family. But despite all this, Abby's mother reached out to Matt and told him about her wish. The next day, with the help of the medical staff, Matt pulled off the wedding ceremony. He was married to his patient in front of his coworkers, Abby's family, and anyone else who was lucky to observe. Abby walked in over rose petals, smiling from ear to ear. As Matt got down on one knee, Abby leaned in and asked him to marry her. Without a hesitation, Matt said yes, and they sealed the deal with ring pops. So, several days later, Abby's mother expressed how Abby had continuously said this was the very best day of her life. Now, this story is just one of millions to shed light on just how life-changing nursing can be in an individual's life. Whether you're the nurse, a student, or a patient, statistics have shown that nursing professions are continuously healing hearts both physically and mentally and bringing a new life to healthcare. In conclusion, I just want to say that I believe you all have made an excellent choice. A choice that will not only benefit you, but your family, your friends, and the countless people that you will meet along the way. Even when you're stressed and emotionally challenged or exhausted, never lose hope or sight of the end goal, becoming that nurse who makes a difference in the lives of others. So far, I'm very well on my way in doing so, and I know y'all are not far behind me. Myself and all my student council representatives are here to help you, so please do not hesitate to ask for any help. Good luck, you got this, and may Florence Nightingale be with you.
Great job, Blake. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our keynote speaker, which is Miss Cynthia Alvey. Ms. Alvey is the former Executive Director of Quality and Education at Owensboro Health Regional Hospital, right here. She very recently retired from this position, and she has relocated to Louisville and is now the Director of Quality at Norton Healthcare at Brownsboro. She has also traveled from Louisville to be with us today. Ms. Alvey was instrumental in the development of this Owensboro extension. She is a graduate of the University of Louisville School of Nursing and has been recognized as one of the university's outstanding alumni. Ms. Alvey.
Wow. I have to follow Blake again. So hard. This is just a real pleasure for me. As Dr. Higdon shared, I've been associated with the U of L program here in Owensboro since its inception. And if you'll indulge me today, I want to give you a little bit of that history and background. I have notes. They're very messy, but I'm going to need them. So I'd like to echo what Blake said. You've made a great choice. Congratulations on reaching the upper division. This is a day for you to celebrate. And you have made a good choice with the University of Louisville. You have selected to pursue a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. which the evidence tells us is what you should be doing in order to provide good outcomes for patients. So I want to give you a little bit of background. I also agree with Blake, it's the hardest undergrad major, and you're having to do it with COVID. So in 2010, the Institute of Medicine released a document, and part of that was, the future of healthcare, and taking a look ahead at what was going to be needed in nursing as well was a big part of this document. And the recommendation was that by the year 2020, and I think that's this year, right, 80% of nurses providing care, direct care to patients, should have a bachelor's degree. That's because with the complexity of healthcare and the changes over the years, it really takes that educational level in order to ensure that patients are receiving the best care possible. So you've made a good choice in selecting to pursue a bachelor of science degree with U of L here at Owensboro. This program came about, I would say probably the first discussions were sometime in 2007. And it came from a person who still lives in this community. She was the chief nursing officer for Owensboro Health. And she began to explore, because of the IOM recommendation, and taking a look around. She was in an organization that was beginning to plan and build this facility, and she knew there was a need for nurses. And she looked and said, well, with the future of nursing and the IOM recommendation, how in a town, a small town in western Kentucky, can we possibly get this Bachelor of Science education? There was one BSN program in Owensboro prior to U of L initiating this program. Do any of you know where it was? Kentucky Wesleyan. I hear some people saying it, Kentucky Wesleyan. But nursing programs are pretty expensive to run. How many in a clinical group? Still have 10? And with faculty, the number of faculty that are required and the intensity, not all small colleges can afford to support them. So that program had ceased to exist, and Vicki found herself knowing that in the future this community was going to need bachelor's prepared nurses, and there was no educational institution able to handle it. So a request for proposals went out, and the University of Louisville was one of two universities that responded to that request. And at the time, the dean was Marcia Hearn. So together, Vicki and Marcia were able to push that information and the proposal through the board here at Owensboro Health. And I was fortunate enough to be involved in the selection process, in the review for the universities and the discussions that ensued, and actually was able to present it to the board. It was a great meeting and a thrill for me, because at the time I think I was the only, I was the director of nursing at the time, and I think I was the only nurse on staff here who was a U of L graduate. So I look at you and I get really excited. We've come so far. The board approved the program, and a partnership was born. The collaborative agreement went through, and the University of Louisville with Owensboro Health developed the program here in Owensboro. And I remember so much about its inception. I got to work on it for the first year. Got to work with the Kentucky Board of Nursing, made sure that there were rooms and there was infrastructure to support the program and all the supplies and everything that Kentucky Board of Nursing required. It was a great learning experience, and I knew that we were preparing this community to have a program that would provide the nurses that were going to be needed in the future. So we're in the 11th year of the partnership. And in those early years, when it was developed, the goal was to have about 20 students in each cohort. That means each semester, 20 students could enter the program. And it was hard to grow the program, and you have faculty and staff here who've worked a long time in order to make it visible to the community and for the community to understand it and to reach out and find those people who would want to enter the program and be prepared to do so. So 20 students. And some years it was a struggle. Some year there might be 12 in a cohort or 13 in a cohort. Occasionally it'd pop up a little higher, but this year it's 35. But I skipped a step. As Mardine Hearn retired and Sonia Harden entered the picture, she's now the dean for the U of L School of Nursing, and she came and said, we have to up this number. This program has to expand. The need is great. It's going to continue to be great, and we have to up this number. So she pushed it with her vision, and the Kentucky Board of Nursing approved that this program could expand, and it's today why 35 of you are starting this fall. So, it's kind of a historic moment. You all are the largest cohort that's entered the U of L School of Nursing at the Owensboro location. And I'm really excited about that, and I think there are a lot of people in this community who'll be excited about it. This is a major milestone for the program, for the region, and for Owensboro Health that helps support the program. So you are embarking on this journey, as Blake has indicated, at a very rough time, at an historic time. We don't have pandemics every year, so you can count yourself in the company of nurses who are nursing students who are entering nursing with the 1918 flu pandemic, polio in the 1950s, AIDS and HIV in the late 70s, early 80s, and I was a part of that, and so were some of my cohorts that are here in the room. So you all are really entering this profession at a historic time, and maybe some of you will be innovators, developing new ways to better care for patients with COVID. You'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot in this program. Some of it will be the book stuff, and some of it will be the practical stuff, the spiritual, the emotional, and the psychological aspects of nursing. You're starting at an historic time in an organization that really needs you. Owensboro Health supports this program and has been a key player since its inception. We really want to, I really want to emphasize that the nurse leaders in this organization value you. They embrace you as students coming into the clinical areas in this organization, but it's not just Owensboro Health, it's the Owensboro community. I can tell you that in your community health project, the students that have been in Owensboro have done some phenomenal community health projects. So people in this region will appreciate you as a student, and they will look forward to your graduation and your entry into practice. You've entered a good profession. There will be no lack of job opportunities for you in areas in which you can specialize, and it can be a lot of fun. So it's not all work, it can be a lot of fun. I hope that you enjoy this journey. I think one of the unique things about Owensboro Health is that there are initiatives designed to keep moving the organization forward. While you're here, you might have the opportunity to participate in niche training programs, which is Nurses Improving Care for Health System Elders. You might hear or experience, be a part of age-friendly health systems work. You might get to participate in a survey or activity that is focused on the research of the manager of clinical education, Debbie Enoch. She's doing research right now on nurse readiness for interprofessional learning. You might, at some point, run into a pastoral care director, Rebecca Wagner, who's doing research with nurse leaders about spiritual practices and building resilience. So you're in the western part of the state, you're not in a major metropolitan area, but you have a lot of really great resources here and opportunities that will be open to you if you choose to take them. So finally, a little bit about you. You need to take care of yourself. It's not an easy program. You need to get enough rest, good nutrition, exercise, stress relief practices. You need to do those things. Don't work more than you absolutely have to, because if you're doing this program right, it's a full-time job in and of itself. Finally, you have really good faculty. These people are experts. They're committed to excellence in nursing education. So get all you can from them. They're here to help. And finally, I wish you the best of luck. I look forward to hearing about your success in the future. And before I leave the podium, I want to take a picture. So if you will indulge me. I don't know how many I can get, but I'm going to try. Smile behind the masks. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Cynthia. Well, we are going to make a little bitty change to the program. You guys have heard about flexibility in nursing. Well, our computer has decided to do an update that it has to do right now. So we are going to make a flip-flop, and instead of moving into the Johnson & Johnson presentation, which we will still do, we're going to move on to the honor code. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the honor code as well as the special pins that you're going to receive this afternoon, and then we'll have each of you come forward as we call your name, and you will receive those 2 items. Okay. So first of all, the pins that you're going to receive today. This is from the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. They have provided the pins, and they are a foundation that works with healthcare professionals to instill a culture of respect, dignity, and compassion for patients and professionals. They began their work in 1988. And these specially designed pins will serve as a reminder of the commitment that you should have to providing high-quality care. And we support this idea of compassion in our nursing students, and we encourage you to always be mindful that the art of compassion and caring are unique attributes to nursing. When students enter upper division, they read and sign an honor code, and this honor code details the characteristics that nursing students and future nurses should exhibit. So at this time, I will ask that Miss Amanda Howe and Dr. Luce Huntington-Moscas join me, and we will call each student's name for he or she to come forward and receive a pin and a copy of the honor code.
Alrighty. Used to them being right up here, you know. So, Shelby Odd. Destiny Bell. Danielle Carrico. Kaylee Chanley. Lexi Denton. Taylor DeCinta. Olivia Dickinson. Taylor Embry. Haley Fackler, Courtney Ferrier, Gisela Galloway, Mackenzie Griffin, Taylor Harbison, Heather Hayden, Sarah Howard, Sonja Hudson, Amelia Jacob, Gracie Kemplin, Amanda King, Grace Kirkpatrick, Kaylee Knott, Allison Crampy, Shelby Leach, Sammy Leonard. Kristen Lively. Lindsay McGann. Chrissy McCarty. Michelle Morton. Talisha Nelson. Catherine Newton. Kathleen Nicholson. Austin Payne. Kenna Roach. Mallory Shrewsbury. And then we have one that's not here, Brittany Vogus. Give them a round of applause.
Hello, I'm Miss Kristen Whitaker, and I would like to invite you all to stand with me and recite the honor code. So you can find that on the back of your program. So our honor code pledge. And recite with me. I join my fellow students today to pledge my commitment to the highest ideal and academic standards of my education at the University of Louisville School of Nursing. I recognize I am entering a profession in which I have responsibility for the lives of others. With that responsibility comes accountability for my actions. Therefore, as a representative of the School of Nursing, I pledge to adhere to the highest standards of honesty, integrity, accountability, confidentiality, professionalism, and in all my written work, spoken words, actions, and interactions with patients, families, peers, and faculty. I pledge to work together with my peers and to support one another in the pursuit of excellence in our nursing education. To report unethical behavior. I will work to safeguard the health and welfare of clients who have placed their trust in me and will advocate for the client's best interest. I recognize that these responsibilities do not end with graduation, but are a lifelong endeavor. You may be seated, and I'd like to invite Ms. Angie Maringer.
So I think Blake and Miss Alves, Cynthia did a really good job of illustrating what the nursing profession looks like today. And one thing that has been constant since around early 2000, the late 1990s, is that we do have a nursing shortage. And we have a video that's going to actually show you the history of nursing. It's a short video that Johnson & Johnson and the Robert Wood Johnson, lots of Johnsons, Robert Wood Johnson Foundation created for a campaign for nursing's future. And that campaign was to recruit nursing students like you and faculty like me to the nursing profession. Not only is there a shortage of nursing, but there's a shortage of nursing faculty. And a really cool thing about 2020 is that it's been labeled by the World Health Organization as the year of the nurse and the nurse midwife. And I think that'll be memorable for you all to start your nursing journey in the year of the nurse. And with that, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and Johnson & Johnson really have established a foundation in Florence Nightingale. And so the story behind 2020 being the year of the nurse is that it is the 200th anniversary of Florence Nightingale's birth, and she is the founder of modern day nursing. And so if you remember from Kudos at the end, just like Blake said, may Florence be with you, that's often a saying that I will say to you if I see you in the hall. We pass in clinical and you've got a test coming up, Florence be with you. And you'll enjoy this video.
Okay, thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Please join me in congratulating our students. Very, very, very much so. All you students here, we are incredibly proud of each one of you. We will be your advocates throughout your nursing education, and we will be rooting for you every step of the way.